Welcome to the Michigan Lacrosse Stadium as the number 2 ranked Maryland Terrapins come to Ann Arbor, Michigan to face the number 15 ranked Michigan Wolverines. My name's Alex Kremer and I'm joined alongside Evan Oesterle. And Evan, we're in for a doozy of a game here. First time Michigan's ever been ranked in lacrosse, coming up against the number 2 ranked team in the country and the defending national champions. So tell me what you're looking for today and what Michigan can do to contend with the best team in the Big Ten.
Well, it's going to be a good game. It's fun for Michigan to be at this level. Last year they started out so hot, and then Big Ten play, everything kind of fell apart. Some bad losses to Ohio State and Maryland, but obviously this is a Maryland team. They won the national championship last year. Tillman's a phenomenal coach, but Connery came from his staff, and Connery knows their system. They kind of use each other's systems. We were talking about this pregame. Tillman adopted Connery's defense even now that he's gone. Connery's running Tillman's offense here, so it should be a fun matchup style-wise. And I mean, Maryland has a prestige, but this Michigan team is talented, and it should be a tight game. Hopefully, if Michigan can finish their offensive possessions, then it'll be close late.
This is a Maryland team that has only lost one game this year against the number 1 ranked Albany Bulldogs. So this is a very talented team that is working very hard to come back to the form of last year. They lost 2 of the best players in the country in Matt Rambo and Colin Heacock, but return a Tewaaraton semifinalist in Connor Kelly and one of the best sophomores in the country in number 10, Jared Bernhardt. Let's go over the starters that were just announced here for the Wolverines. Starting at the back in goal will be number 30, Tommy Height. The defense reads from left to right, Finn Goonan, Nick DiCaprio, and Michael Borda. At midfield will be Chase Young and Decker Curran, and for the attack it will be Alex Buckinavage, Kevin Mack, and Brett Noseworthy. For the Maryland Terrapins, in goal will be the ever-steady Dan Morris. Defense will read as follows: James Wielding, Bryce Young, and Curtis Corley. The midfield will be Connor Kelly, freshman phenom Bubba Fairman, and senior Tim Rotans. And for attack will be Jared Bernhardt, Wisnowskis, and the first start of the year for freshman Will Snyder. Now, Evan, Maryland's just taking the field right now, and as you mentioned, very similar styles from the two. And Michigan did start out with a very similar record last year, as you mentioned. They were 7-1 last year, non-conference play, and 7-2 this year. But they do have one difference this year, and that's the win against Notre Dame. And in that game, they looked phenomenal from both the defensive side, the offensive side, and on faceoffs. And in that game, we really saw the maturation of freshman Connor Cronin, who's really taken that Fogo spot by the horns.
Yeah, Cronin has been phenomenal last year. One of the biggest problems in Big Ten play was just getting dominated in the face-off circle. It's such a big difference to be able to start possessions, to be able to be on the attack. And we talked about it though. This Maryland team faced Denver early in the year. Baptist, who is phenomenal. Won 12 in a row, but Denver's been well over 11 times. Michigan is winning face-offs, but then turning the ball over decisively on the defense. It's not going to do much for them. The key is to win face-offs and then have long possessions, balanced, and finish. That's the key, I think, for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and Michigan is a team that has struggled with turnovers and ground balls. So that's going to be definitely something for the long stick midfielders and even the short stick midfielders to focus on and keeping those ground balls. We're just a couple minutes away from the first whistle, and both teams are running to their respective sidelines. John Tillman waving to his former counterpart in Kevin Connery. And you mentioned it earlier, Connery straight off the Tillman coaching tree, as the two will exchange a handshake now. Both coaching staffs will. And this is the highly prestigious Maryland staff. Connery, a highly prestigious players, giving some high fives to some of his players. But he's brought a level of prestige to Michigan, and we saw that from the beginning of last year or the beginning of this year, to even now. Michigan plays a different style than last year, and it's like they expect to win every game, even when they're playing the number 5 team in Notre Dame or the number 2 team in Maryland.
Connery's done wonders for this team already, but there was a game that he was prepared for this year. It was the Maryland game. He knows this team. He knows the players. He knows their style. I'm sure he's got a great game plan for today, and this game means everything. And I'm sure he's a defensive coordinator for the last 5 seasons. He won a national championship with them, and now 4 years trying to take this Michigan program, just 7 years old, make it a Big Ten contender, the best conference in the country, in my opinion.
No, without a doubt, without a doubt. every team in the Big Ten is one of the top 26 teams in the country. Ohio State was the first team left out of this week's top 25. So this is the best team in the best Big Ten, best conference in the country. And the Big Ten slate will get underway right now as Justin Stockey for Maryland and Connor Cronin for Michigan go to the circle. And we're going to wait for the first whistle, and then we'll be underway here today.
First quarter is really key for the Wolverines to stay in the game.
Refs are not happy with hand placement right now. Looking for 100% stillness, and the whistle is blown. And Shockey comes up with that one cleanly. And we'll pass it back to Morris. And let's see if the Terrapins can get a successful clear attempt here.
Michigan pressing early.
Mack will be trying to get the ball away from Curtis Corley, one of the best defenders not only in the Big Ten but in the country. Quick skip pass all the way across the field, and that'll find its way to the ground. Connor Kelly could not come up with it, but Wisnauskas will bring it up.
Here comes this excellent Maryland attack, and we'll see how Conway's defense holds up. These Maryland players know it well because they practice against it every day.
Tim Rotans on the far alley, passes it back up top. Be number 5, Bubba Fairman, and number 7, Tim Rotans passing it around on that right alley. Quick dodge inside, gets inside of J.D. Carroll. Excuse me, that's P.J. Boggle. And he will go back to X, run around the cage. Quick shot from Rotans, and a nice kick save there by Tommy Height. And that's going to roll out of bounds, but a dive there from number 32 of Michigan, and that's going to get the ball for them. A fantastic effort play there.
You can't control talent, you can control effort, though. Net, what a start for the Wolverines, and a phenomenal save from Height, and then the effort play to get the possession.
And the first bit of game time, first start of the year for Curtis Alexander, and he makes it count. Avery Myers and Chase Young will bring it back, and that's a successful clear attempt for the Wolverines, something we mentioned pregame that was very important to them. Buckinavage will pass it to Young up top. Noseworthy trots into the game. And Young will start just short of the restraining line. Dodges right. And looks to Curran now. Curran's up top. Maryland without Isaiah Davis-Allen for the first time in 4 years. And a quick turnover there from Michigan behind the cage. Mack was not able to corral that.
And we talked about it before the game, how crucial turnovers were, and not a great one right there.
Morris has it behind the cage and now running up looking for someone to pass to. Michigan playing great defense here, trying to prevent a successful clear. And Morris past the restraining line now and looking to run it up himself. Passes it to and behind the cage now. Jared Bernhardt has it, and he knows he has a penalty, so a free possession now. Bernhardt behind the cage, taking his time. Right at the X position. Almost standing still, waiting for it. Gets a pick and a shot, and it looks like it was deflected there. And now Goonan will pick it up, and let's see what the penalty is. Definitely on the Michigan Wolverines, so it'll remain Maryland ball.
More good defense from the Wolverines, though, not letting anything get by them.
And they're going to call a slash there, so it's going to be a 1-minute penalty. And that's going to go on number 12, Kevin Mack. Excuse me, it's going to be a 30-second personal foul. And Connor Kelly will start it off for the Terrapins.
Talented freshman right there.
Not the smartest foul in the world, but you never want a foul to take place in your back end now, not even when you're playing defense. Bernhardt behind the cage, passes to Wisniewski. Back to Bernhardt, to Rotans, to Kelly. Kelly has some space, then to Rotans. Rotans to Wisnauskas.
Moving well, but
Connor Kelly with a shot and a great save by Tommy Height. You never want to give Kelly an inch. The sniper midfielder, the first Maryland player with over 100 goals in the past 50 years. Fantastic player for the Terrapins, but Height got his stick on the ball. Fantastic play there. And we were talking about it earlier, but Height being a lefty throws off most attackers are used to righty goalies, so Hike could be in for a big game today. And Decker Curran with an easy clear, and Michigan has not struggled to clear the ball today.
Tommy Height with 2 excellent saves. Now Michigan needs to get a good possession and get a shot on goal here.
Michigan taking its time now. Chase Young starting it up, and Noseworthy looks to check in. They're going to call an offside there on Avery Myers, so that's going to give the ball to the Terrapins. Connor Kelly passes it back into Wisnauskas. Wisnauskas going to fake a shot, get inside, another shot, but a fantastic save by Tommy Height. A bouncing shot that just could not find anything from the goal, and Michigan will retain possession.
This offense has to help out Tommy Height and his defense. They've started being excellent these first 4 minutes, but the offense with 2 bad turnovers, missed passing and the offsides.
Noseworthy waiting to check in, and then runs past the midfield line. Noseworthy will get the ball and pass it to Curran. Curran to Sutherland, back to Curran. Curran on the left alley now. Pass it up top to Young. Young getting much more playing time now. Young, Rotan's on him. Now Corley and then Wilding. Wilding's on Sutherland. Pick from Curran. Sutherland doesn't take it. Back behind the cage he goes. Dodge to his right. Pass inside, and Mack just lets it go by his stick, and that's a missed opportunity there. Rotans will pick it up and run back to clear it.
Mack with 2 big errors early to foul, and then he misses the pass on what probably would have been an easy put-away goal.
Missed opportunities here for both the Wolverines and the Terrapins. With 10 minutes left in this first quarter. Connor Kelly dodges left, gets around a pick. Board on him. Jared Bernhardt will dodge right, go behind the cage, and then packs to number 4.
Michigan still doesn't have a shot. Maryland with 3 of those on goal, but Tommy Height's done an excellent job. His defense has done an excellent job so far against the Maryland attack.
Anthony DeMario and Anthony DeMillo are both in now for the Maryland second unit. Connor Kelly will dodge to his right, look for a pass, can't find it. He passes it to DeMario. Jared Bernhardt still in. Looking inside. Gets it to Wisnauskas. Wisnauskas inside. A great shot and a goal from the Terrapins, and that's going to open it up 1-0 here. Maryland takes the lead with 9:15 left in the first quarter.
Finally cracking that defense of the Wolverines. First time that they've gotten an easy look, and nothing Tommy Height could do right there.
Fantastic goal from the transfer freshman from Syracuse, and that's going to be Wisnauskas' 19th goal in the season, 22nd point. Fantastic addition to this attacking offense for the Terrapins, and Shockey and Cronin will go back to the freshman on freshman battle here. 5 shots for Maryland, 4 shots for the Wolverines. Fairly even battle thus far, but Maryland has not trailed in almost all of its games, have only trailed this season for 4 minutes and 29 seconds. So this is not a Maryland team that is behind very often. So, and that's going to be an infraction on Shockey, so that's going to be chalked up for a Cronin win. And something we mentioned earlier, very important that Connor Cronin's able to control the circle, and it's something he's done early. Young up top. Noseworthy will check in now. Big-bodied Noseworthy is something that Maryland really hasn't seen this year, facing a lot of smaller attackers like Connor Fields of Albany. And Sutherland behind the cage. Excuse me, that's Buckinavage. Buckinavage is doubled. Curley on him. Pass to Sutherland up top. Curtis Corley's blanketing Alex Buckinavage, and Buckinavage not even able to hit anything close to the cage. But Mack behind it will retain possession. No, Chase Young, dodge inside. Passes it to Noseworthy. Noseworthy with a shot, and that's going to find the back of the net. Tied up at 1 with 8:06 left. And that's the ever-steady midfielder, Brett Noseworthy. That's going to be his 32nd goal this season, 37th point. So he doesn't pass very often, but when he takes his shots, he hits home.
There you go.
Cronin and Shockey back at the circle. Waiting.
So big answer from Michigan.
And that's a battle at the circle. And Shockey wins it, but it's on the ground now, and Michigan will come away with it. Fantastic play there by Nick DiCaprio.
No chance for Michigan to build some momentum here if they can get another good offensive possession.
Yes, I love Curtis. Oh, let's go, Myers. Where's Mr. Myers?
And now Avery Myers will run it past, and that's another successful clear. Myers behind to Mack. Mack looks to find Sutherland. Passes it to Buchanavich. Buchanavich behind the cage. Pass inside to Noseworthy. A fantastic save there by Dan Morris. And that's why he's one of the best goalkeepers in the country.
That's just all Morris being big, making himself big. Tough miss for Noseworthy.
Bubba Fairman will take it up. Passes to Wisnowskis. Wisnowskis to Bernhardt behind the cage. DiCaprio's on him. Borda is blanketing Connor Kelly right now, but a quick dodge inside by Jared Bernhardt and a great body save there by Tommy Height. And Tommy Height has been the MVP of this game thus far.
Save number 4 for Height. Maryland's gotten some good chances, but Tommy Height had the answers.
6:40 left in this first quarter now, 1-1. Michigan is tied with the number 2 team in the country, Maryland. Decker Curran in the left alley, very slow, methodical is this Michigan offense, taking after Tillman's offense of the past. Brett Noseworthy has it up top. Him and Curran are playing catch right now. Young will take it on the right alley. Dodges inside. Pass behind the cage to Mack. Mack looks to Curran. Curran with the shot and skips past, not hitting the cage. Mack will retain possession though.
But again, I mean, in those first 7 minutes, no shots, and now Michigan finally starting to get some attempts at Morris. Morris made a big save last time.
Southern will take it behind the cage, take the, will actually pass up. Sutherland has it behind the cage, passes to Buchanavich. Buchanavich looking, waiting, very methodical here. Knows that he cuts inside, but will not get the pass. Buchanavich cuts inside, a great save again by Morris. And they're going to call, he stepped inside of the crease, so it's going to be Maryland ball. Bryce Young with it, making the transition from long stick midfielder to defenseman. And now back to Corley. Corley to Morris. Maryland's struggling to clear the ball today. All attempts have been successful, but they've taken a lot of effort to finish them off. Morris all the way out at the block M and has to pass the midfield line. They're running up, and that's going to be an offside penalty. Dan Morris is not back. They have a defenseman in goal.
Didn't get a shot there. He had a chance without Morris in goal.
Morris making an ill-advised attempt to pass the halfway line. That's going to get an offside call. No one open, trying to make something happen. Noseworthy now with a smaller defender on him. He's going to body him, take a shot, and that's off course. He did not look under control at all during that possession. Mack will rotate it, and looks like Maryland's going to take a timeout here with 4:49 left in the first quarter. Michigan playing with the number 2 team in the country right now. And as we mentioned, this is a doozy of a game. Fantastic goalie battle here from Dan Morris and Tommy Height. Tommy Height already with 4 saves. So, Evan, what have you seen thus far defensively that has kept Maryland really off the scoreboard, essentially?
Well, Maryland's taking shots, but Michigan's defenders are doing a great job of keeping their guys in front. They're not letting Maryland get clear looks at goal, and the one time that they did, Wisnowski scored. But Tommy Height was phenomenal behind those defenders. He's, as we mentioned, a lefty, and that's thrown off Maryland a little bit. But offensively for the Wolverines, it took them some time, but they're finally settling in, getting some good movement. They've now had 6 shots. The problem for Michigan, all 3 of those on goal. Morris made a couple good saves, but they have to challenge him where they have to get those shots on goal. On that last possession, Morris, for some reason, nobody was trying to cross midfield, got the offsides call, and Decker Curran had a chance to just fire one against the defender, but decided not to for reasons that, again, aren't clear to me.
Maybe didn't feel like he had an angle or something. Got to give him the benefit of the doubt, but still a weird possession there. I don't know if I've ever seen in my albeit limited years of lacrosse a goalie getting an offside call. So a rarity, something we don't very much see, but Michigan retains possession here, and it's going to be interesting to see how the end of this 4:49 will go. One of the refs checking Kevin Mack's stick here, and also checking number 53 for Maryland, Matt Lecombe's stick. So a timeout, not by Maryland, but just to check some equipment for the referees. And something you might see a couple more times here with rain expected to come down, making sure sticks are appropriate size and nothing illegal is being used. Michigan will retain possession here, be on the offensive end. Corley and Young will man the defense for Maryland. Need to finish these attempts. Gotten a couple open looks, but have a couple of careless errors that have nixed them. Whistle's blown. Decker Curran will take from the left alley. Dodges left. Back up top to Young. Young, quick dodge inside. Won't take a shot. Buck and Average will get it up top. Quick switch. And Bucky with the shot. And a great save by Morris. He telegraphed that one.
Yeah, but again, getting those shots on Morris and mishandled right there by Maryland. But getting those shots on Morris is going to open things up later, going low.
Kelly taking a pick. Passes it back. Maryland passing around the back of the cage now. Jared Bernhardt. Back to Kelly. Adam DeMillo. Pass it back to Connor Kelly. Kelly top left. He runs the offense for Maryland, taking over that job from the former number 1, Matt Rambo.
Man down for a second, there's some miscommunication, but back to full defense now.
DeMario to Bernhardt. Quick dodge to the right there. Behind the cage. Colin Giblin. Now, quick double screen there. Connor Kelly, miscommunication with Giblin. Giblin has an isolation now with a short stick. Interesting to see when the shot clock will be utilized by the referees now. DeMario gets inside. Up top to Giblin, and that's going to be a goal. That hit the bottom left corner. A fantastic shot there by Connor Giblin, and that's going to make it 2-1. Maryland leads Michigan with 3:04 left in this first quarter.
Just a long possession, a lot of passing, just waiting, like you said, that methodical, slow offense. Michigan's defense has played phenomenal, but got beat right there.
Colin Giblin's second goal of the season, only his 5th point of the season, so we're seeing some production here from Maryland's second unit on offense. And if Maryland's going to win this game and really be a contender for the national championship again this year, that second line offense, that second line midfield is going to have to get some production, and it's been doing so today. Shockey and Cronin again at the circle.
And Michigan answered Maryland's last goal with a quick goal. Pretty crucial if they can get that here.
And let's see, a timeout by Michigan once they get possession. And another win there by Cronin. Cronin's looked very, very confident at the circle today going against Shockey, the 2 freshmen. Been 3 face-offs win now for Michigan.
So that's a good sign, especially early in the game. If that can hold up later on, it's good for the Wolverines, obviously. It'll be crucial in the 4th quarter. But Michigan's got to get more shots on goal. 4 of their 7 on goal so far. And another crucial moment in this game is they answered Maryland's last goal. If they can answer this one too, then you really start to think, wow, this Michigan team is going to be able to stay in this game for 4 quarters. This is going to be a close one throughout. You don't want to give Maryland a 2-3 goal lead early on.
Michigan has played Maryland close in the past 2 years. 2 years ago, the game at the Big House, the snowy one, and Maryland came out with an 8-7 lead on a last-second shot with 8 seconds left in the game. So these are two teams that have historically have played very good games, and now with Conry at Michigan and Tillman the ever steady at Maryland, we have a little bit of a rivalry brewing between the two. And maybe Michigan can step up in the Big Ten Conference, become a player, and add to the even more to the prestige of the conference. 2:55 left in the first quarter. This is WCBN FM Ann Arbor, bringing you coverage of Michigan lacrosse. And a goalie matchup today. Tommy Height with 4 saves, Dan Morris with 3. Only 2 goals given up by Height, but both of those can really be attributed to the defense. And the last goal was a fantastic dodge inside, overhand dodge by Colin Giblin that led to the 1-goal lead from the Maryland Terrapins. We're about to get underway here. Chase Young has the ball on the stick, waiting for the ref's whistle. And he gets it now. Back behind the cage to Sutherland. Now Mack has it. Curran will get it up top. The short stick on him. Tries to dodge inside, but it's rejected there. Fantastic job by the freshman Thomas O'Connell, and an errant pass there by Mack. Sutherland able to corral it, gets inside, and just throws it away. Let's see if Michigan can get to it. They won't be able to. That's another turnover for the Wolverines. Their 5th of the day. That's something you never want to see if you're going up to get the top team.
That's really hurt them. They had a chance early on. Mack had it right in front of the goal.
No, actually, it takes normally they're pretty fair.
Offside as well.
Bubba Fairman will clear the ball from Maryland. They're passing it around the left alley now.
Michigan played really well, but it's just the little things that are killing them right now.
Wisnowski's behind the cage. Gets it back up top to Kelly. Rotans with a dodge to his right. Looking for someone to cut. Tries to get inside, but is rejected there by Boggle. Now we'll try to get to his right. Pass it to Kelly in the midfield. Now Snyder has it. First start on the year. Pass it back to Kelly. Kelly dodges right. Gets a pick. Wide open and cannot finish there. Height, a fantastic save, but Jared Bernhardt is able to corral the rebound and will be able to start possession here. You're not going to get a better shot if you're Maryland.
No, and again, Tommy Height's been fantastic. Like you said earlier, he's been the MVP for the Wolverines. They need somebody on offense to step up, though.
Bubba Fairman playing a 2-man game here with Connor Kelly, and now Rotans will get it on the other side. Dodge inside. Doesn't really have a purpose there. Loses the ball, but Bernhardt again corrals it. A couple of big ground ball wins for the Terrapins, and now Kelly will take a screen again. Passes it off to Snyder. Snyder slips up a little bit, but a bounce shot and a dive there by Michigan, but that will not matter as Wisnowskis was there.
And another place Michigan struggles with those ground balls, as we saw a couple times there. Maryland keeps the ball on, it's going to have a chance for their 4th shot of possession.
30 seconds left, so essentially shot clock is on now. And Bernhardt has it on the far right alley. Get inside, a shot, and another save by Tommy Height. His 6th of the game, 2nd on the possession, and now Michigan will get it with 12 seconds left. Let's see if they can do anything. Finn Goonan on the far left side. 5 seconds left. Height with a long shot. That's not Rotans was dropped it, and that's going to be a ground ball. The whistle will sound, and that's the end of the first quarter here. Maryland leads 2-1, but a fantastic game thus far. A goalie battle, 3 saves for Dan Morris, but the MVP of this game, even on both sides, has been Tommy Height, 6 saves thus far, and he's been fantastic, the lefty goalie. And we mentioned it earlier how it might stifle the Maryland offense, and it really has thus far. They've gotten a couple fantastic opportunities, but not able to finish. And Hike just seems to be on the opposite end that they expect.
Yeah, Tommy Hike's been phenomenal. Can't say enough about the way that he's handled some of these shots from Maryland. They've gotten good looks. And for Michigan offensively, again, we talked about it a few minutes ago, but it's just the little things in execution. They're getting good looks. They're getting the ball across easily, but silly turnovers, bad misses. Those things have to change. And Michigan's played well. They're hanging in there with what I think, and I think you agree with me, is the best team in the country. But it's these little things that are going to kill them. They can't keep turning the ball over the field. It's got 5 turnovers in the first quarter to just 1 for Maryland. Maryland much more sound in their execution, but Tommy Hike keeping the ball in the game.
Maryland has always been a team that likes to retain possession, be very methodical in their offense and really in their defense, keeping men in front of them, and they've done that today. A couple open opportunities for Michigan early, but Maryland's really started to clamp down with Young and Corley in the back end. But Michigan has played well themselves, solid defensively, really has only given Connor Kelly 1 open look, and has really given him no passing lanes, which is something that really no team other than Albany has been able to do. So looks like Connery's been able to stifle the best player of Maryland a little bit. Maybe that goes back to his knowledge from College Park. But a doozy of a game thus far, and we're about to get underway again. The refs holding the players back here. Looks like they're trying to extend the game a little bit. Not sure why. They did that on the timeout beforehand, too. Oh, yes, this is on Big Ten Network, so.
MVP number 2 for the Wolverines, Kremer. 3 and 4 in the circle so far, and if that can continue, you gotta like his chances.
Cronin going up against one of the best face-off specialists in the country, and Justin Shockey, the freshman, has really taken over the job for Maryland. And Austin Hennessy was a guy who took over the job last year and really was a big part of their national championship run for Maryland. So he won 12 of 15 in last week's game against Villanova. So this is a very good Fogo that Cronin is essentially shutting down thus far. Let's see if it can continue in the second quarter. Maryland looks a little tight here, and whistle is blown, and Cronin gets another win. Let's see if he can finish it off. He does. And now I'll pass it off to Buckinavage. Young will check in, and has a successful clear there for Michigan. And
He's been phenomenal so far. Let's see if Michigan can make something out of it.
2-1, Maryland does lead. Michigan has a possession here, unable to tie it up. Buckinavage on the far right side. Pass it up top to Decker Curran and Chase Young. Young and Curran taking the offensive possession at the midfield position. Fantastic job there by Young with the help defense there. Now Young on the right side, has Young on him, tries to body Young on Young action here. And Kevin Mack behind the cage at X. And now Morris comes out to hit him as Corley will stand in the cage. An awkward possession there. And Mack with a very awkward shot there, but Sutherland is closest to the ball, so he'll be able to retain possession. And Dan Morris being very aggressive from the goalie position. We already saw him get 1 offside penalty, and that time he stepped out of the cage to play some defense. So very aggressive strategy here from the Dallas, Texas native. Decker Curran with the dodge inside. Passes to Brett Noseworthy. Noseworthy with the smaller defender on him. Decker Curran now with a shot and a goal there. Underhanded shot from Decker Curran, number 4 for Michigan, will tie it up with 13:33 left in this game. Excuse me, in the second quarter.
And what a possession from the Wolverines, capped off by an excellent shot from Decker Curran. Here comes the momentum. Here comes Michigan right back into this game. We're tied.
Decker Curran's 15th goal of the year, 23rd point. He's really come on strong for this midfield, and him and Noseworthy playing midfield for the Wolverines. Noseworthy more of an attacker though. Have given them offense when they've been lacking it. And Decker Curran's really joined the group of Alex Buckinavage, Kevin Mack, and Brett Noseworthy to form a deadly foursome attack. And this is really a game now, 2-2, second quarter, and Michigan is hanging with the University of Maryland thus far, something I don't know if we really expected.
Noseworthy with assist now for Noseworthy.
Something you don't really see. Shockey there with a win. Let's see if he can corral it. Looks like DiCaprio's actually going to win it there, and another win for the Wolverines. This time it's not the long poles getting that one for. Borda now. Michigan dominating at the face-offs. Something they haven't done all year. That's their 5th win of 6.
Another offensive possession here for the Wolverines, and they had this chance in the first quarter. It was 1-1 to take the lead. See if they put their first win again here.
Thomas O'Connell playing some short stick defense here. Bucking average, passes it across the field to Sutherland. Sutherland working to his right, tries to pass, fakes out, gets Mack behind the cage. Mack looking to a pass, can't find one. Corley on him. Corley with great position in there. Mack has nowhere to go, goes behind the cage.
Excellent defense right there, and Mack has struggled so far in this game. Some freshman
And looks like Buckinavage just lost it. And now Maryland will take it up. And a successful clear for the Terrapins. And now Maryland will set up its offense with Tim Rotans checking in. Rotans on the left side, dodges to the left alley. Pass behind the cage to Bernhardt, who's been very quiet today. Bernhardt gets the screen from Wisnowskis. Inside, has a one-on-one. Gets some space, and another save by Tommy Height, his 7th of the game. And that's going to go off a Maryland player, so it's going to be Wolverine ball.
What a save by Tommy Height. I mean, maybe not his 3 best saves of the game. That's how well he's played. He's stopped everything from Maryland, who had 8 shots on goal, but just 2 on the scoreboard to show for it.
Michigan on offense now. Talking more about Tommy Height. Only 8. He averages just over 8 saves a game. Already was 7 with more than 11 minutes left in the second quarter. So a fantastic performance from the junior, and something we really haven't seen from him all year. Chase Young dodging to his right. There's a one-on-one with Bryce Young. Gets it behind the cage to Mack. Mack, one of the 2 best freshmen in this Big Ten. Tries to pass it inside to Noseworthy, cannot get it, and finds DeMario. And now Bryce Young on the attack. Now the long pole here. No one's stopping the ball. He's going to ride right down the middle, right down the crease, and that's going to be a long pole goal, and that's going to get the Terrapins elated. 3-2, Maryland now leads. A goal for Bryce Young.
Too easy right there, and the turnover by Kevin Mack. He's, again, really struggling so far in this one. The 3 turnovers now, he also had the penalty, and something's got to change for Kevin Mack. He's a talented young freshman, but too many mistakes here so far.
Bryce Young's 2nd goal of the season, 2nd point. And a long pole goal always is going to bring some energy to your sideline, and that's what it's going to do for Maryland here. 10:59 left in the second quarter. And Cronin has dominated at the circle. Let's see if he can continue to do so against Shockey, or if Shockey's going to step up a little bit. And if not, then maybe you might see a change to Hennessy coming in here pretty soon. Cannot afford to be losing 5 out of 6 faceoffs if you're Maryland. Waiting for the whistle here. And early again from Justin Shockey, and that's another penalty here, and the Wolverines will retain possession now. Young dodging inside. Pass it to Sutherland. That's Cronin's 6th win of the game. Playing fantastic, and it'd be tough to argue against him being the MVP today. Special teams doing it all for the Wolverines thus far. Pass inside to Buckinavage, who passes up a shot there. And now Crowley and Morris both play defense now. Crowley is now in goal. Morris on defense. He's behind the cage now at X, and now they switch. Morris gets back in the cage, and a fantastic play there by Crowley, but they're going to call a penalty there on the Terrapins. Looked like he tripped him a little bit, and it looks like it's going to be the call. Crowley looked like he was playing solid defense. It's actually not going to be on Crowley. It's going to be on, no, it looks like number 28,
No, I feel like
23, excuse me. So Adam DeMilo, the captain, coming off now. And one of the players on the second unit midfield line. And he's getting an ear lashing from the coaching staff. Michigan with a man up here for the next 30 seconds. Needs to take advantage of this if they want to get back in this game. Only down one thus far. Decker Curran on the right side, pass to Buchanavage.
She's so untied right now. It's stressing me out.
Noteworthy across the field to Myers. Now a pass to Curran, who loses it. Only 8 seconds left on the penalty. Now Noseworthy loses it. They're able to retain possession, but this penalty is essentially killed. And now they're even. 9:35 left in the second quarter. Michigan is not able to capitalize off of the man-up opportunity. They still retain possession, though. Fantastic defense by Young and Corley there. And Bryce Young blanketing Kevin Mack now. Sutherland dodges right. Tries to get inside the Maryland defense. Mack with a quick shot off the right side. And Rocco Sutherland will retain possession, but Michigan's going to take another timeout here. And some sloppy play from the Wolverines on that possession, but they will keep it. With 9 minutes left in the game, Maryland leading 3-2. And it seems like everything that Michigan has done to try to get back in this game, Maryland has had an answer to. 3-2 now. And really a fantastic game by the specialists here. Connor Crowan with 6 face-off wins and 7 saves for Tommy Height. Easily the 2 MVPs of the game thus far. And Maryland looks like it's complaining about some calls here. The assistant coach is yelling at the refs now, and they'll be separated. But fantastic game thus far, a fantastic defensive battle. And we're really seeing both teams starting to lock in and not allow too many shots on goal.
Shot here right now on the sideline practicing face-off. He's not had his best day. So.
It's going to be interesting to see when or if John Tillman makes the call to Austin Henningsen and switches up the circle rotation there and see if someone else can win with maybe a little bit of a different form and throw Cronin off, because Cronin's been dominant there today. And if Maryland wants to stay in this lead and stay aggressive, they're going to have to start winning a couple of these faceoffs. They haven't won one since early in the first quarter.
It's the opposite last year. Michigan dominated the faceoffs during the Big Ten play, but they're bundled and cold. Not great stick work so far for the Wolverines on that last penalty. A couple missed catches and didn't get a shot on goal. Didn't even get a shot, actually. So it's just a little sloppy, and Michigan's playing well, but if they can clean it up a little bit, they have a good chance to get back in this game. Who knows what can happen.
Michigan looks to be a little smaller than the Maryland Terrapins around the field, other than Noseworthy, of course. Always have to make that concession. Noseworthy looks to be the biggest player on the field, only rivaled by maybe Corley. And the whistle's blowing, and we're back underway. Young getting inside, a couple of dodges, but can't find anything. It looks like the second line offense is in now. Hank Adams will get into the game. Kevin Mack has it now. Chase Young, dodging left, won't take a shot, passes it instead to Sutherland. And behind the cage is Mack. Now Decker Curran up top. Curran and Young have played almost the entire game at the midfield line. Young playing both offense and defense. And now Sutherland dodges to his right, uses the X. Young with the shot, and that's way wide. And Hank Adams will be there, but will retain possession for the Wolverines. A long possession for the Wolverines. And now the shot clock won't be turned on, actually. But it's got to be close now. Let's see here. If Hank Adams checks out, Buchanavage will check back in. Adams wasn't able to do much. Looks like a little bit of an attempted hidden ball trick, but not able to do so. Buchanavage looks to be looking for a shot, takes a shot. That's far wide. Morris didn't have to do much work there.
A couple shots so far in this possession, but neither all that close. Morris has not had to make a save.
Dodge inside, Kevin Mack. Pass to Noseworthy across the field. Curran gets inside, looks to Noseworthy, can't find him. Back to Rocco Sutherland. Sutherland passes it to Young. Young running inside, gets inside. A shot and a goal from the Wolverines. Chase Young just beating Maryland's defense with speed. And that's going to tie this game up at 3 with 7:27 left in the second quarter.
And Young's made several runs. Obviously, it was nice when he got a clear lane and what a shot. Morris really has not had that game. That's now just 5 saves and 8 shots. So Height outplaying Morris, Cronin outplaying Shockey, and again, it's just going to come down to the execution. If Michigan can stop turning the ball over there 7 to Maryland's 1, then Michigan has an excellent chance in this game. I think they've looked just phenomenal all over the field.
And they look like they belong in this game. And this looks like a really something we didn't know coming into this year. Michigan looks like a top 10 team, a top 15 team at the least, and ranked 15th in the country. This is going to be a fantastic game going forward. And now Cronin now with a bit of an infraction there, so Shockey will get a win. And almost a quick shot there from the Terrapins, and Curtis Alexander gets a block there. So now the Terrapins will retain possession, though. Kelly takes it and passes it behind the cage. Seems like it's the first time the Terrapins have had an offensive possession in the second half. Passes it to Rotans. Rotans running to the right. Passes it to Bernhardt behind the cage. Bernhardt looking for Bubba Fairman. Bubba Fairman on the far right side. Passes it to Will Snyder. Snyder been almost non-existent on this Maryland offense. Tim Rotans dodges right. Gets his hands free. Doesn't take a shot, but now Wisnauskas will take a shot. Gave him an inch of space, and that's going to find the back of the net. And Maryland immediately answers Michigan's goal. 4-3, Maryland leads now with 6:36 left.
Maryland with the answer here. We saw an early answer from Michigan after Maryland's first goal. Maryland with the answer here to the tying goal for Michigan. Seeing how Michigan responds to the 2 goals on 3 shots.
And Finn Goonan was not starting on defense and not playing during that possession, so looks like Connery trying to switch up his defense a little bit, getting Curtis Alexander in the game. Something we haven't seen most of the year, but we're seeing today, and it caused a little bit of confusion there. Led to Wisnauskas getting his hands free, and that's going to lead to a goal for the Terrapins. Shockey with his second win of the in the circle during the last possession. Let's see if he can get another one this time. And Cronin with an easy win now if he can retain it, and he does. A fantastic play there to flip it back to Goonan, and Goonan will check off. Cronin has arguably been the best player on the field today, dominating at the X. And now Chase Young running down Broadway and passes it to Buchanavage on the far left side. And now Brett Noseworthy checks in and will get the ball immediately.
He is a true Renaissance man.
Chase Young passes it to Sutherland. Sutherland Buchanavage on the far side. And passing it all around the field now. Decker Curran with a quick dodge inside. Okay, now Kevin Mack on the far right side passes it to Young. Couple quick dodges, passes to Noseworthy. Noseworthy with a quick shot, but isn't able to finish. And Sutherland will retain possession. Actually, Mack will get the ball now.
Too quick right there to get it on goal.
And now Sutherland will take it behind the cage. Running with Curran now. Young on Curran. Young playing all around the field now. Young with an attempted dodge, can't get it. And that's going to be a foul there on Maryland. And looks like it's going to be slashing there. Could be a minute or two depending on the ref's whistle. And now Buchanavage with a dirty spin move to get inside and cannot finish the shot right in front of the goal. Morris is bumping his fist, but that really wasn't his doing, as Buchanavage just could not finish that shot. Fantastic play there by Bucky to get inside of the Maryland defense. A quick spin move, dodge, and he just wasn't able to finish. But now with the 30-second penalty for the Wolverines, looked to be more serious, but wasn't according to the ref's whistle. And now Avery Myers with a shot, but it's deflected, and now it went straight into the Terrapin stick. Christian Zodwowski is able to retain it now. Now pass to Mario. Now up top to Connor Kelly. Bub Fairman will check in. And Fairman with the ball now. Back to Kelly. Fairman and Kelly have been held relatively quiet thus far. And now Wisnowskis. Looks like it's starting to rain here in Ann Arbor.
Mac had a missed catch and then the missed shot by Buckenhead.
Now Wisnowskis behind the cage. And he already slips here, so the field's getting a little wet. It looks like it's going to be a little bit of more of a dirty game to finish this one off. 3:30 left in the first half. Rotans dodges inside pass to Wisnowskis.
Can't tell how much of a factor the rain is yet, but it looks like it based on some slipping on players.
Jared Bernhardt gets inside, slips a little bit, and back to Rotans behind the cage. And now the shot clock's put on. And now Bubba Fairman with a quick dodge inside and loses the ball and gets it back with 19 seconds left on the shot clock. Goodens played really well today. Connor Kelly gets his stick free and cannot finish with 9 seconds on the shot clock. The Maryland coaches wanted to reset, but it won't. Jared Bernhardt will dodge right. Run inside, a quick shot, and a great save by Tommy Height. That was telegraphed. That was an easy save. It's his 8th save of the game.
Hasn't been quite as good in the second quarter as he was in the first, but a big save right there now. Just over 2.5 to go. Michigan can get a tying goal, I think, in the halftime. It feel a lot better than being down one the way they play.
And Michigan is passing it across the back end, looking for someone to make a run here. A weird pass there by Young, and that's going to be a turnover for the Wolverines. And now the Terrapins will run it back. Loses it immediately. Looks like he tried to pass it, and the ball just fell out of his net. And the mesh looking to get kind of wet here. Not something you want to see for a lacrosse game. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of an ugly half. Well, ugly end of this first half, at least. 2 minutes left in this first half. Rotans has it up top. Quick dodge on Curran. Rotans with a shot. A bounce shot right behind the legs of Tommy Height is going to find the back of the net with 1:57 left. Maryland takes a 2-goal lead for the first time in this game. The sniper for Maryland able to use a quick lefty dodge inside, change hands, and provide almost a little bit of a wrister there to get a bounce shot past the legs of Tommy Height. A fantastic play there. And that will be Rotans' 11th goal this season, 20th point. And Rotans, a mainstay on this midfield line, one for the past 2 years. And the senior coming through now when Maryland needs him most. Shockey gets this one. Actually, it's Hennessing coming in now, but Maryland will get it. A pass to Wisnowskis, and Wisnowskis fires high. And Maryland will retain possession, though. But number 9, excuse me, that was not Austin Hennessing. It was actually Will Bonaparte coming in for his second faceoff of the year, the freshman coming in and got that win. Interesting to see that they did not go to Hennessing, something that they've chosen to do in a lot of other games, but Dodge inside by Maryland, passes behind the cage to Bernhardt. Bernhardt going to his right, 1:18 left on the clock. Now a dodge to the left by Colin Giblin. Gets inside, looking for a pass, can't find one, back to Bernhardt. Giblin's at the pick. Bernhardt going around the cage using X, and with a quick jump shot there, that's Jared Bernhardt that the Maryland faithful know and love, and that's going to find the back of the cage to push this lead to 3. Maryland leads with 1:02 left, 6-3.
And all of a sudden, things starting to fall apart for the Wolverines these last couple minutes before halftime. They were playing such a good half. Looks like they're just trying to get to the locker room now. But now showing their 3 goals, and Tommy Heights starting to fall apart. He's blocked 4 of the last 6 shots on goal to get by him.
First goal of the game for Jared Bernhardt, 25th on the year, 35th point. And Bernhardt, one of the best players in the country, made it on the Tewaaraton semifinalist list. So you know he's a legit player, and he's showing it right now. Bonaparte now taking all of the face-offs for the Terrapins, and this time he's able to win it. But it's still on the ground now, under a minute left. And it's still on the ground now. Maryland able to retain possession. That's going to be a second win by Bonaparte. Pass behind the cage to Bernhardt. Pass inside, and Maryland loses it. That's going to be number 38, Roman Pugsley, the freshman, who just loses it off the shot. With 35 seconds left, let's see if Michigan's able to do anything with it here. Going to be important to see if they at least get a shot off and finish the half off strong. And looks like Michigan's going to take a timeout here with 23.4 seconds left. 6-3 Maryland leads, and Maryland in the last couple minutes has really taken over and just dominated on offense. Jared Bernhardt and Logas Wadnowskis have taken over and really dominated from behind the cage, using X, using really a double screen with X and another player to really dominate on the inside.
Yeah, Michigan can go here, change momentum a little bit, but Maryland's taken over this game in the last 4 or so minutes.
Fantastic effort by the Maryland offense, and the Maryland defense has also played fairly well. Curtis Curley, Bryce Young, and Jack Welding have done a fantastic job playing hard on defense, mainly in this second quarter, and Michigan outscoring Maryland 4-2 in that quarter and really pushing this lead a little bit. But the difference thus far has been the turnovers. 8 turnovers for Michigan, only 2 for Maryland. So Michigan not playing as disciplined, playing a little bit sloppy here. And the Michigan sideline does not look as happy as Maryland's right now, and it's easy to tell why.
All the energy over on the Maryland sideline, the Michigan sideline. The energy is gone. It was there, and then all of a sudden you give up 3 goals in a few minutes right before halftime. It'll kill your momentum. It'll kill the energy in the crowd. See if Michigan has an answer here before halftime. Something to work with.
At least a shot on goal would be helpful for the Wolverines, taking some confidence in. So you can see the lineup that the Terrapins will trot out. Curly Young, of course. Welding and Thomas O'Connell will trot out there as well. And Adam DeMillo will take the spot of Isaiah Davis-Allen as the sole short stick midi playing defense. 23 seconds left on the clock. Waiting for the ref's whistle. Whistle is blown. Young has it. And with a dodge to the right, passes it to Kevin Mack. Pass inside to Noseworthy, and that goes right off top of the head of Dan Morris, and that's going to be Michigan ball. Connor Cronin will retain possession. That's going to go down as a save for Dan Morris, but his noggin did all the work. Kevin Mack with another skip shot there with 5 seconds left. And 4.5 on the clock when Rocco Sutherland picks it up, passes it. Looks like he's just going to pass it right inside. And that's going to find the stick of a Maryland player. Clock hits 00, and going into halftime, Maryland leading 6-3. Some of the stats to know. 18-18. That tied it up on shots for Michigan and Maryland. 14 of them on goal for Maryland, only 9 for Michigan. And as we talked about the turnovers, a big problem for the Wolverines. 8 for them, only 2 for the Terrapins. And give me one thing that Michigan needs to do better, Evan, in the second half if they want to win this game.
Just have to execute. Can't be as sloppy. They played well. Heighten's good. It's just the turnovers and easy shots on goal that they missed the catch. Bad passes, bad shots. I mean, half the shots missed. Oh, they're playing 18 shots and 9 of them on goal. You look at Maryland, halftime 18 shots, 14 of them on goal. So the challenge is to fight more. Michigan just got to be a little crisper.
And this is WCBN. I'm Alex Kremer alongside Evan Oesterle, and we'll be back to give you the second half in about 10 minutes. Welcome back to Michigan Lacrosse Stadium as the number 2 Maryland Terrapins are here in Ann Arbor. It's halftime right now. Maryland leads 6 to Michigan's 3. And Evan, we've seen a little bit of a rough game now as the rain is starting to fall a little bit harder now. And tell me what your keys to Michigan staying in this game and getting back in it are for the rest of it.
Well, we talked about execution. I think Michigan offensively just has to finish. I mean, Mack early in the game had a chance, had a goal, missed the catch. Michigan's gotten a lot of good chances at shots and just missed them terribly. But if Michigan can finish offensive possessions, if Michigan can be a little bit crisper on the attack, making those passes, making the catches, getting their shots on target, making Morris make saves, and they have a really good chance. I mean, it's not like they got significantly outplayed. They just had more turnovers than execution wasn't quite as good.
And some of the best players of that half we mentioned multiple times. Connor Cronin dominating 7 out of 11 faceoffs won. Tommy Height 8 saves. Great game by him. Dan Morris has been playing very well as well. 6 saves for him, only giving up 3 goals. And it looks like Jeremy Shockey will continue taking faceoffs as William Bonaparte did take a couple. And Michigan fans cheering for shirts now. And we're about to get underway in this second half. Important to see if Michigan can try to come out hot now and try to grab some of the energy that was really on Maryland's half at the end of that second quarter.
Already starting, and Cronin played really well for much of the half, but both him and Height struggled late in the half. Height giving up some goals, and Cronin struggled when Maryland made the switch to Bonaparte. He won both of his face-offs against Cronin.
And now Maryland comes up with the first win of the game. That's going to be a win for Shockey, only his second of the game. So a great job from the Terrapins getting a win early. And DeMillo, see if he can clear it here. He's got 4 to Michigan guys around him. Somehow passes to Rotans. Rotans running up right down the middle, and a fantastic block there by DiCaprio, but Maryland is able to retain it. And Connor Kelly has it now on the left side. Running behind the cage. Now, nope, he's going to switch up and pass behind the cage where Bernhardt is. Right inside to Wisnowskis, and a kick save by Tommy Height. A fantastic save by him. And that fantastic play from the beginning of the game is carrying over to now.
I was really curious to see Tommy Height kind of collapse at the end of that half. 10 minutes to think about it in the locker room, how he would respond, but what a save right there by Tommy Height. And here we go, Michigan with a chance to get a goal back.
And Decker Curran now trying to clear it for the Wolverines. Gets by Jared Bernhardt. Bernhardt and Kelly get to take a breather now. Michigan passing it around the edge now. Curran has it. Knows where he checks in and gets it immediately. Now Chase Young, as the whole midfield line is touched in the past 3 passes. Sutherland behind the cage to Mack. Curran up top. Now to Young. Young by the M. Quick dodge inside. Past O'Connell. Passes to Curran, then to Rocco. Rocco looking for a pass, can't find one. Looking average, has been quiet thus far, but he gets it now. Dodge to his right, uses the pick. Skips to his left. Now a pass to Young. Young inside. Gets some space, a shot, and a great save by Dan Morris. Also on the ground. Looks like Decker Curran picked it up. A fantastic rebound there and a great ground ball pickup.
Good recovery. We talked about Michigan strong with ground balls, but getting that one there. Good shot by Chase Young.
And another shot there by Noseworthy. And that's just the power that you see from him as he rockets that into the back of the net past Dan Morris. And that's going to cut the lead to 2 now. 6-4, Maryland still leads. But Noseworthy with a rocket from about 10 yards out. And that's going to be Noseworthy's 33rd goal of the year and his 39th point. So he's getting closer and closer to 40 points and closer to Ian King's record for points in a year.
There we go. Noseworthy, 2 goals and assists on the day now, and it goes back. That possession started with the save by Tommy Height. Michigan right back in this game down to 12:44 to go in the third quarter. Plenty of time. Just got to keep getting these attacks, keep finishing plays, and back to the circle.
And Cronin gets a piece of this, but now Shockey gets gets it again, and now it's just bouncing around. No one can get it. Everybody is on the ground, and they're going to give it to the Wolverines. Interesting call there. Looks like it was still on the ground when they made that call. But Chase Young picks it up, and it'll be the Wolverines' possession.
Fantastic effort there from Cronin. And Chase Young is really key to a lot of the offense with some of his runs. And see if they go back to him on his possession.
And it really just looked like Justin Shockey does not have it today. And the leader in freshman face-offs thus far, face-off percentage, has just looked dominated by another freshman in Connor Cronin. And a falling down pass there by Decker Curran. It looks like the wet field is playing a part in this game now. Dangerous pass to Noseworthy, loses it, and gets it back though. Passes it to Curran. Curran to Mack behind the cage. Mack running around and takes a shot there, but does not hit anywhere close to the cage.
Mack trying to get involved. He struggled with some turnovers in the first half, had the penalty as well, but he's been so key to this attack all year. If they can get Kevin Mack in the second half, really open up this attack and make it four-dimensional, then it'd be great for the Wolverines.
Sutherland with a shot and just shoots it wide, straight over the goal. That was not very close, but Michigan will retain possession. And Decker Curran will pick it up.
Michigan's actually outshot Maryland today now, 21 shots to 19, but Maryland still has 4 more goals, so 22 to 19 now.
And also has 4 more of those shots on target. And let's see if Kevin Mack with a jump shot here, and that hits off. And they're going to give it to Michigan now. Dan Morris aggressive going out for that ball. And it's going to be a timeout by Maryland now. And a lot of timeouts used today as both teams trying to get their defense set up. But this time it's going to be Maryland. And a little bit of a sloppy possession previous go-around led to a little bit of an open shot. Kevin Mack able to jump and get his hands free and take a shot there. It wasn't very close, but still that's a missed opportunity from the Wolverines. And with being down 2 with 11:18 left in the third quarter, you got to start making those opportunities count against this Michigan defense this Maryland defense that is so strong.
Maryland could definitely feel the momentum shifting, and so Tillman decided to use the timeout. What a crucial moment in this game for Michigan. I mean, coming out of halftime after getting up 3 goals after being tied 3-3 late in the second quarter, they're coming out a big answer offensively. And again, Cronin now 8 of 13 in the circle on the day, but just a great effort from him, keeping Michigan in this game. Tommy Heitley, some incredible saves. Again, keeping Michigan in the game. And now the offense finally starting to look like they can pull out on their part and deliver. Noseworthy with a big goal. Michigan now with another chance to cut this lead down to 1 goal. So with 25 minutes of game time left for this one, plenty of time for the Wolverines. Just got to keep close.
And Noseworthy doing a great job thus far, using his body to create space, as he's really bigger than almost anybody else on the field, as we mentioned. And he's been able to use his body to push his defenders around, get his hands free, get his legs open to his shot. And one of the reasons he's so good is his quick shots. And that's something he's been able to get against this Maryland defense. And now Decker Curran with the ball will be waiting for the whistle. Excuse me, it'll be Kevin Mack behind the cage. And the refs are waiting for the timeout to be over. And still waiting now.
Got these long TV timeouts for Big Ten Network today.
And here we go. Game is back underway. 11:15 left in the third quarter. Young has it on the left alley. We'll pass it to Decker Curran. Decker Curran with the short stick on him. Now back to Young with the short stick on him. Short stick slips. Pass up to Curran. Who had a second. Now Noseworthy with a shot, and that's going to go wide. And these past 3 shots from the Wolverines have not hit anywhere close towards the cage. And Morris hasn't need to make any saves, even though that these 3 shots have been good. And maybe that has to do with the rain, or maybe it has to do with just a lack of effort here from the Wolverines and focus. Mack using the X now for a little bit of a screen here. Buck and Average will go behind the cage.
Yeah, I mean, some aerial players slipping these last couple of runs on defense. The rain's certainly becoming a factor. Don't know if that's what's resulting in these air shots, but Michigan's got to get them at Morris. Got to make Morris make saves.
Buck and Average moving to his right. And now Rocco Sutherland on the other side of the field. Rocco moving side to side. Tries to get a shot off, but can't. Great defense by Bryce Young. Another slip there. This time it's by Chase Young, but Chase Young slipping and sliding, able to get a shot off that finds the top right corner. And that's going to make it 5-6 now. Maryland leads with 10:02 left. And Michigan is slowly cutting into this Maryland lead.
I mean, I said it a couple minutes ago. So much of this comes from Chase Young runs, using his speed to get out of that defense, and another one right there. Chase Young has been the key to this Michigan attack, in my opinion, so far. Lead now 1, and Michigan looking great offensively.
Michigan using the speed of Young and the speed of Curran to get around these bigger Maryland defenders. And they've made it work in this second half. 2-0 they lead in the goals department. And now with 10:02 left in the third quarter, let's see what if Maryland can have an answer here and maybe get a win at the circle. And they cannot. Cronin with a clean win, running straight down the field, and immediately throws it away to Buchanavich, who pats his chest and acknowledges that it's his fault. And you cannot have that turnover off that clean win by Connor Cronin. And Shockey just does not look like he has it today. That's his 3rd loss in a row, and you cannot be having that if you want to win these games. Wisnauskas has it on the other side.
He's way out of sorts for Shockey, and I think Buchanavich thought that Cronin was going to take the shot there and just wasn't expecting the pass. But
Snyder checks in now and gets the ball. Now we pass to Kelly up top. Kelly's been very quiet today, only 1 assist. Kelly, it's going to be Rotan's behind the cage. Does have a short stick on him. Now Kelly with a short stick. Gets by him easily. And a shot over the cage. Wasn't very close. But a great job with a check on defense there by Goonan. But a nice dodge there by Kelly, who wasn't able to finish.
Goonan's been excellent today defensively, and in this strong Maryland attack. Michigan as a whole has been really solid defensively.
Kelly with a shot, and that hits the pipe.
Pipe did get a piece of that.
And it's going to stay with the Terrapins. Snyder over to get it. Back to Kelly. Another good shot there by Kelly. That's his 2nd of the game. He's got to keep shooting if you're Kelly. Excuse me, that's his 4th. Taking 3 just in this possession. Rotan's getting inside. Now pass to Bubba Fairman. Bubba Fairman's also been very quiet today. Bubba passes to Rotan's. Rotan's moving to his left. Tries to dodge inside. The double comes. And now Rotan's trying to get inside again. Bubba passes to Bubba. Bubba up top to Snyder. Snyder loses it. He had a little bit of room to take a shot. And now Kelly loses it. Maryland looks a little bit out of sorts here. Kelly trying to do something for his team. Now Rotan's, Wisnauskas, and Bernhardt here. Now Bernhardt looking for a quick dodge now. Isn't able to use the screen from Wisnauskas. Does now. Gets around with the shot and is pushed there. A great check there. This time by DiCaprio. And that's going to be Maryland possession here. Bubba Fairman with it behind the cage. Fantastic defense from the Wolverines thus far. And Bubba Fairman trying to get inside with a one-on-one here. And falls down with the shot. Somehow gets that off. And that's going to be Terrapin possession. Fantastic play just to get that shot off. Bernhardt gets it around the cage. Now to Snyder behind the cage. No one able to stifle this defense. And Michigan just all over the Terrapins this second half. Kelly now dodging right and left, trying to get around this Michigan defender, but he cannot get around Borda. Borda dominating. Now another jump shot and another great check by the Wolverines. This time it was Borda. Wolverines, and a quick shot there by Snyder straight into the mesh of Tommy Height. His 11th save of the game, and the Wolverines have all the momentum right now, and it's being powered by this Kevin Connery defense. Parker McKee playing some short stick defense for the Wolverines. Wolverines on the sideline, getting very hyped up. Has a fantastic defensive possession. Finishes off, and now let's see if Noseworthy in the offense can try to answer. And the crowd getting very hyped here in the new Michigan Lacrosse Stadium, the first Big Ten game played here. And now Rocco Sutherland has it, passes to Chase Young up top. Young with a quick dodge to his right. Now pass to Mack. Mack manning up Crowley. And a bad pass there, but Sutherland corrals it. Curran moves inside, and now Sutherland. Sutherland keeping it for a while now, but the pass is to Curran behind the cage. Using X now, and looks like they're going to get a shot clock now. Nice errant shot there. Buckinavage will take a shot that fires over. That had a lot of speed on that one. And Kevin Mack will pick it up with 22 seconds left on the shot clock. Just under 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Quick pass to Buckinavage. Buckinavage looks like he wants to take another shot here. Gets his hands free. Doesn't have a great angle. Pass to Mack. Mack inside. Errant pass. He forced it a little bit. And that's going to be a shot clock violation. Now the Terrapins running up. Quick dodge inside. A shot there from number 53, Drew Harrison. The sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland, finds the back of the net. And that's going to move the lead to 2 goals again. 7-5. Maryland leads with 5:24 left in the third quarter.
And Maryland killing all the momentum right there, the shot clock violation, and then back the other way. And Michigan controlled the first 10 minutes of this quarter, and all of a sudden, one play changes that.
Austin Henningsen will take this face-off now. All 3 of the Fogo specialists for the Terrapins will be getting chances in this game. And that will be Harrison's first goal of the season, first point of the season. So the largely used short stick defensive midfielder gets some offense for the Terrapins. 7-5, Maryland leads, waiting for the whistle, and they get it. And Henningsen with a clean save, or clean face-off win this time, and an errant pass there to Wisnowskis, but he's able to corral it. Now Bernhardt behind the cage. Bernhardt dodging right and left. Can't find anything. As Giblin will check in.
Big moment for Michigan mentally. They played so well in this quarter, and a little screw up gets the lead back to 2. If they can respond here and keep the momentum going, it'd be big for the fourth quarter.
Now Rotans will check out, and DeMeo will check in. Connor Kelly with it, passes it to DeMeo. DeMeo with a dodge to his left this time, and a spin to his right. Using a Wisnowski's screen, and then back up to Kelly up top for Bernhardt on the right side. Bernhardt's going to take the screen from Giblin, and then back behind the cage is Wisnowskis. Wisnowskis just standing there looking for something. No offensive possession here. The Terrapins line up in almost a straight line, and now Bernhardt cuts. Giblin cuts. No pass still from Wisnowskis. Wisnowskis will take him himself up top. And no shot here. Pass inside, and he forced that one. And Height somehow comes up with that ground ball.
Good play, goalie. Good heads-up play, goalie.
Way to ground ball right in front. Excellent in this game.
Nice movement.
Keep them in the game, and now Michigan has a chance to cut back into this lead.
And Nick DiCaprio is the one with the successful clear now for the Wolverines. As Chase Young will check in, and Noseworthy will have to check in as well. Noseworthy motioning to get Finn Goonan off. Goonan limping a little bit, but doesn't want to come off. And Oesterle will check in, and the Michigan offense will get started. Kevin Mack behind the cage. Passes it to Buckinavage, then to Chase Young, then to Noseworthy. Noseworthy up top.
I look over at the dog, and the dog just looks so ashamed. I was like, that's nice.
Slow and steady. Decker Curran on the left side, dodges to his left. Passes it behind the cage to Buckinavage. Buckinavage looking, passing it around are the Wolverines. Young to his left. Rocco Sutherland moving to his right, pass inside. Buckinavage looking for a shot. Takes one that goes wide of the cage. 2:53 left in this third quarter. Maryland leads 7-5. Mack passes to Decker Curran. Decker Curran moving to his right. Passes to Chase Young. Chase Young. Chase Young played fantastic offense today. He's been an integral part of this team thus far. Pass it straight, and an errant pass there. Decker Curran isn't able to get it. And a fantastic play there by the long pole, who's able to push it straight to Rocco Sutherland. A shot there straight off of Morris. Ground ball. Now it's a scrum for it. Lots of sticks flying here. Stick goes into the air, and that's going to be Maryland ball. That's a penalty on the Wolverines. See who it goes against. Very sloppy ground ball play by both teams there. No one able to come up with it cleanly, and Maryland gets bailed out with a penalty call. Looks like it might be on Noseworthy or Buckinavage. Let's see. 1 minute call.
A big scrap, and
it's going to be on Buckinavage. Should be 1 minute, so Terrapins are a man up here. Let's see if they can do something with it.
big penalty kill right here for the Wolverines, and Connor's not happy with the call. He's frustrated with the refs. It's just a messy play right there.
You can understand that. I mean, ball's on the ground. Got to be aggressive to try to get it, but can't be too aggressive there. And the freshmen have largely been the ones getting fouls called on them today for the Wolverines. Terrapins passing across. Back to Wisniewskis. Wisniewskis to Rotans. Rotans to... Looks like that's behind the cage to Bernhardt. Bernhardt down to Rotans. 40 seconds left on the penalty. Pass to Kelly. Kelly with a lot of space for a shot and just fires it to the left. Looks like number 13 for Michigan, MJ Malio, was able to affect that shot. Kelly has it again, back to Rotans. And Wisniewskis. Wisniewskis has already scored 2 goals for the Wolverines. See if he can get a hat trick now. Bubba Fairman passing it to Kelly. Kelly to Fairman. Fairman winds up for a shot. And a deep snipe there from Bubba Fairman hits the top left corner, and that's going to push the lead to 3.
Excellent shot there from Kremer. Back to a 3-goal lead. Michigan played an excellent 10 minutes, and then the last 3.5, Maryland extended their lead back to 3 goals.
One of the best high school recruits in the country last year came to Maryland and has received immediate playing time starting on that midfield line. And that's his first goal of the game off of 2 shots. And that's going to be his 10th goal of the season and his 13th point of the season. Fantastic snipe there from Bubba. And the Maryland faithful have their team up 3 with 1:27 left in the third quarter. Shockey is still out of the game as Cronin has taken all face-offs for the Wolverines. Hennessing with the infraction. That'll get another win to Connor Cronin, his 10th of the game out of 16. Fantastic percentage for the Wolverines as Tillman is angry on the sideline. Not happy by his team's inability to win a face-off. Curran has it now. Curran with a dodge to his left.
Last minute here of the quarter, Michigan again with a chance to get a goal, cut into this lead, build some momentum going into the fourth. After the swing totally in Maryland's favor, and another turnover.
And Chase Young just throws it, tries to throw it to the X behind the cage, and just not a very focused pass, and just soars out of bounds.
Turnover number 12 on the day for the Wolverines.
Very sloppy for the Wolverines now. Let's see if the Terrapins are able to do something with 40 seconds left. Bubba Fairman, the man who just scored the goal, dodging to his right. No one stays on him, so he's going to run behind the cage. He's got Decker Curran on him now. It's an offensive midi playing a little defense right now. Let's see how this goes in the final 25 seconds. Curran on Will Snyder now. Will Snyder with a dodge to his right. And a pass up top to Kelly. Kelly with a dodge. And a quick shot there is nowhere close, even though he had a little space for his stick. Bubba runs inside. A quick pass to Wisnowskis, who shoots it even though he didn't have the ball. And it's going to be looks like he might have stepped in the crease there. It might have been an offside call. And the Wolverines just throw it towards the goal, and that's going to bounce way over to the right. And that's going to end the third quarter. Maryland leading 8-5. And Evan, what did you see in that quarter that led Maryland to really answer the bell that Michigan started in the first 10 minutes?
Michigan played so well in those first 10 minutes, cut the lead to one. They were executing offensively, playing well defensively, shutting down the Maryland attack, and then just a couple really sloppy possessions. Shot clock violation, a couple bad turnovers, a couple missed shots, and all of a sudden Maryland back up 3. Again, it's kind of the story of this game for Michigan. They played well. They've answered the call to match up with the best team in the country, but the turnovers are killing them. 12 turnovers, Maryland has just 4. They've missed 14 of their 28 shots, whereas Maryland missed just 10 of their 29 shots. So, again, Michigan doesn't look like they're outclassed in any way. They've matched up well. Their schemes are a good matchup. It's just Maryland's executing better, and that's why they have the lead.
Very sloppy game from Maryland star Connor Kelly. He has taken 8 shots. It seems like almost none of them have been on target. Only has 1 assist to his name, so he'll keep his point streak. But does not have a goal to his name thus far, and he tried to force it at the end of that quarter. And his team has picked up some of the slack. Wisnowskis with 2 goals, Bernhardt and Fairmouth 1, Rotans and Bryce Young, the defenseman, also picking up 1 apiece. And a solid offensive game from the Terrapins, and the Wolverines not able to keep pace with them thus far. On the defensive end, the Wolverines finished the quarter on a fantastic pace. Both Goon and DiCaprio, and really even Borda with a couple of great checks, staying with the hands of the Terrapins and just doing a fantastic job not allowing the Terrapins to get any clean looks. Only 15 minutes left, and the refs still holding the Wolverine players from taking the field now for the TV timeouts.
So Michigan 15 minutes left. They're by no means out of this game. I think it's just going to be how well are they going to execute, how crisp are they going to be? Are they going to get their shots on goal and make Morris make saves? He's been just okay today. Are they going to turn the ball over? Are they going to play sound defense? Are they going to give up open shots? They've done most of the big things right. It's the little things that are really costing them in this game. Give all the credit in the world. Maryland's a great team. They forced these turnovers, but it feels like Michigan's left a lot out.
Michigan has had a couple missed opportunities, and if they want to get back in this game and really dominate, then they're going to have to answer some of those bells going into this last quarter of play. And Maryland's had big leads going into the fourth quarter, and they have lost against good teams. They lost to Albany, the number 1 team in the country, after leading by 4 in the fourth quarter. And the Wolverines get another win, and that's going to be Cronin's 11th, and a solid hit there by the Terrapins. And now the Terrapins will get it, and Wisnowskis has it now.
Maryland covers that ground ball.
A fantastic effort by the long poles there to get it, and now Bubba Fairman has it on the opposite side. Bubba looking for Kelly, and and finds Rotans. Rotans looking for a shot, passes to Kelly. Kelly straight on top of the goalie, passes to Snyder on the left side. Snyder hasn't taken a shot yet. And now Bernhardt has been really the quarterback behind the cage for the Terrapins now. Passes it back to Snyder. Snyder trying to get inside. McKee having no part of that. And now Kelly will go inside again. And a pass to Rotans. Rotans a little space. Fairman now. Fairman looking for some space for a shot. Can't get inside. Fantastic defense by McKee. And now Kelly will take it out up top and pass to Snyder. Snyder moving on the inside with a quick dodge. Nothing going. And the Terrapins want a penalty call, but they're not getting one. 13:30 left in this quarter, and the shot clock is put on with Bubba Fairman behind the cage. Quick dodge to his left, passes it, and a fantastic save there by Tommy Height. And they're going to call that a push. They're gonna call that a push into the crease, and Wisnauskas was just not able to finish that pass. And a fantastic wide open shot there, and a fantastic save by Tommy Height. That's going to be his 12th of the game, and you're not going to see a better save there in all of college lacrosse.
No, that was excellent by Tommy Height. Penalty still going against the Wolverines on the push into the crease, but Wisnauskas has been really solid offensively for Maryland. Height's answered him.
30-second penalty. This time it'll come against number 35 for the Wolverines, Michael Borda. So Maryland will have a 30-second man-up opportunity. They've done a solid job all year keeping with those opportunities. They are first in the country. It was 62% with man-ups. Connor Kelly takes it. And now no one now on Jared Bernhardt. Pass to Wisnauskas. Wisnauskas over to Rotans. Rotans to Kelly. All the major cogs in this offense touching the ball. Bernhardt moving to his right. Pass to Kelly. Kelly with a quick dodge. Kelly has his hands free. No shot there. Fairman. And the penalty is successfully killed off. And Fairman gets it with an expert pass inside from Connor Kelly. Fairman is able to finish it off right in front of the crease. And that's going to be the 9th goal of the game for the Maryland Terrapins. Michigan at 5, 12:45 left in the third quarter. And that's going to be Bubba Fairman's 2nd of the game.
Great ball movement there. Maryland getting Fairman an easy shot right in front of Tommy Height, and Maryland now in complete control of this one.
And Kelly has not looked great today, but on that possession, he looked like the mastermind of this offense. A difficult pass there straight into Fairman's mesh, and a fantastic finish by Fairman. And Austin Henningsen is taking the faceoffs from Maryland as right now. And let's see if he can get his 2nd win of the game. Maryland only has 6 faceoff wins all game. Cronin nearly has double that with 11. And Henningsen doesn't get a piece of it, but Finn Goonan will pick it up, and that's going to be another win for Connor Cronin, as he now has double all of the Maryland faceoffs now. He has dominated the X thus far. And the Wolverines passing it around now. Need to get a little more aggressive here to try and put a little pressure on the Maryland defense. Rocco Sutherland gets it past the restraining line.
Michigan's got 12 minutes left. They need to make a run here. They need to build some momentum, though. The offense has been solid all day. It started with Chase Young. Noseworthy, but Kevin Mack needs to step up here for the Wolverines. He struggled today. He's been such a key part of the offense all year, and they need something from him now.
Still a lot of time left, and Michigan is certainly still in this game, but they're going to have to get a goal in this possession. And they did throw it away there. Buchanavich was not able to corral it. And just too many missed opportunities from the Wolverines, and too many errant passes and not clean looks into the mesh. And that's going to be the 14th turnover of the game for the Wolverines. Now Dan Morris will take it back almost to the M of the Michigan's stadium, and now immediately throws it away, and the Wolverines will get it back. Mack has it now, running forward, has a little momentum here. And Fairman now playing a little defense. The freshman looks a little lost. Let's see if Michigan chooses to attack him. Fairman runs off. And the long pole now will run on. Michigan with 10:45 left on the clock has to make something happen here. Curran has it on the far right side. Curran dodging in, pass it to Sutherland. A little bit of a scoop pass there. Pass it to Young. Young with the speed that's destroyed this Maryland offense today. Noseworthy, couple dodges inside. Passes to Buckinavage. Buckinavage immediately throws it away to Kevin Mack, and that's his second turnover in the past 2 minutes. And he just looks like he is not up for this moment right now. And Maryland looks to have a successful clear here. They get it past the restraining line, and that's another successful one. 9:55 left. Connor Kelly has it on the left alley. Tillman raises his cap as to call a play. And DeMillo will come to talk to Tillman. Rotans falls down, but is able to retain possession. He falls down again. This turf looks very, very wet right now. It looks like it's tough to keep footing on it. Kelly loses it now, and a trip there, and they're not going to call it. Kelly is down. Kelly with a dangerous play there. Looked like a blatant trip there. Kelly with a pass to Giblin. Giblin's able to finish it, but Connery is not happy there. That was some very angry Connery right there, and some of the Maryland players are chirping at Kevin Connery now. Kevin Connery losing his cool here, something you don't want to see with a coach here.
That was a horrific no call by these refs, though. That was a dangerous play.
Connery losing his cool here. He's got to be careful that he doesn't get a foul called on him. And Borda looks like he's hurt a little bit now.
Yeah. 9:15 to go. It's not over for Michigan, but need a momentum swing here.
And Henningsen gets his first clean win of the game. And Wisnowski is able to finish it off. Fairman's about to check on. Maryland has really dominated the second half. It is now 10-5 with just under 9 minutes left. Jared Bernhardt behind the cage. Rotans will check in, and Snyder will check in now. Connor Kelly to Bubba Fairman. Bubba Fairman to Will Snyder. Will Snyder will have it right above the goalie. Dodge inside. Bernhardt a pass outside to Rotans. Denver's dodge into the alley, and we'll pass it back to Connor Kelly. And now pass inside to Bernhardt. Bernhardt with a jump shot and a fantastic save by the legs of Tommy Height. And that's his 13th save of the game. And he has given up 10 goals, which is why his stat line does not look very good. But those 13 saves have almost been dominant thus far from the Wolverines. Now Decker Kern will get it past the midway line, past the restraining line. Now Kevin Mack running to his right, behind the cage. 7:45 left. Maryland leads 10-5. Michigan needs a quick goal here if they want to stay in the game. Chase Young with 2 dodges. The double comes, loses the ball. And Maryland is able to retain it. And Bubba Fairman has it now and is running forward. And then they slow it down. Bubba's done a fantastic job on defense for the Terrapins, something that he hasn't played a lot of this year. Bubba's behind the cage. And pass now to Wisnauskas. Wisnauskas to Rotans up top. Rotans to Kelly. Snyder with 2 dodges. Running to his left. Tries to get inside. Cannot. Fantastic defense there by Decker Curran. Giblin will now check in. Giblin taking it behind the cage. Giblin passes to Kelly. Kelly on the right side. Kelly gets it back right in front of the goal. Dodge inside. Quick shot there, and another fantastic save by Tommy Height. Kelly went bottom right and immediately throw it away. Jared Bernhardt picks it up and it's dropped. And they're going to get a timeout from Maryland. And Maryland players not happy at some of the slashes there from the Wolverines and have to be restrained.
Some frustration from Michigan.
Some frustration, down 10-5. Look to be about out of this game with 6:20 left. Both teams playing a very chippy game thus far. Michigan has played a very good game, but the turnovers have been the problem. 16 thus far to Maryland's only 5, and that's really been the only difference thus far in this game. Both teams playing very solid defense and very good offense, but Michigan has just thrown the ball away a little bit too much, and Maryland is playing much more disciplined, and you really see that. Michigan has 3 fouls, Maryland only has 2, and Michigan has not capitalized on their man-up opportunities, going 0 for 3, and Maryland going 2 for 3.
Yeah, it's all about those turnovers. 16 turnovers now for the Wolverines, 14 missed shots, and Michigan hasn't gotten a shot in a while. It's been rough for the Wolverines in this fourth quarter. And it looked like at about the 6-minute mark of the third quarter, it was 6-5. Michigan was right in the game. They were playing really well, and then all of a sudden the turnovers started really hurting them. And here we are with the 6-minute mark in the fourth quarter, and Maryland has a 5-goal lead and complete control of this game.
And with 6:21 left, some of the stats for the Wolverine squad. Noseworthy has 2, Young has 2, Decker Curran with 1. And Noseworthy has taken 8 shots, Buchanavage 9 shots, but Buchanavage has 0s in the point column, so he's struggled a lot today. And Buchanavage and Kevin Mack both are the 2 with the most turnovers today, and both have really struggled.
Rain coming down hard. Team's getting a little chip. You'll see how the refs officiate this last 6:21 to try to keep it clean and make sure that nobody's hurt, nobody does anything dumb.
Terrapins trotting out their first lineup still, so trying to push this lead a little further. 6:21. The Wolverines still have a shot here if they can try to get a turnover and a quick shot early.
Time running out for Michigan, but can't give up hope. And they played well enough where scoring 5 more goals is not out of the question, but definitely made a lot of things go their way.
And it's like Giblin behind the goal now. Giblin and Bernhardt playing a little bit of a 1-2 game now. Bernhardt takes it himself and passes outside to Kelly up top. Kelly behind the net. Giblin running to his right. Will Snyder with a quick shot there, and let's see who got there first. It's going to be the Terrapins.
Donnie Height tried to hustle and get his team the ball, but Maryland in control here.
Still a very good defensive possession from the Wolverines. No clear shot. No open one for the Terrapins to take. Kelly trying to make something happen. Pass to Snyder. Snyder wide open, cannot finish it, but Kelly gets the rebound with 5:20 left on the clock.
Minute off on this possession. And no shot clock. Maryland just moving the ball well, getting good looks, and controlling the end of this game.
Heights with his 15th save on that shot. And he's played a fantastic game, but just let too many go by him thus far. Michigan fans calling for the shot clock with 4:50 left. And Giblin behind the cage. They're looking for it now. Now they get it. Giblin. Giblin with a pass to his Wisnowskis, who immediately dunks it home. But Giblin took a shot there late. And a fantastic pass there will push the lead to 6 with 11. The score will be 11-5. And John Tillman is not happy there with that blatant late hit from the Wolverines. And after a little bit of a dirty play from Connor Kelly earlier, the Wolverines get him one back.
Giblin giving up his body to make the pass. Great play right there. And Maryland now 11-5. Their offense has come alive here in this fourth quarter.
And a very chippy game thus far. And this looks a little dirty coming to the end. And let's see if we can have a clean finish here. Maryland leading 11-5. Cronin again controls it, but it's picked up by the Terrapins. And now Hennessy runs straight down Broadway and scores for the Terrapins. A Fogo goal is something you rarely see, but nonetheless, Austin Henningsen with his second goal of the year, his 3rd point. So a fantastic job by Henningsen getting a win and then getting a goal. And you've got to be happy to see that if you're a Terrapin fan. That's going to push the lead to 7, and that'll all but do it for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Michigan just losing a year late, and Maryland in complete control, getting some easy looks. And I mean, you got to feel for Tommy Height. He played an excellent game, and in the end, it just wasn't enough.
Connery calling a timeout. The Wolverine sideline looks defeated. The Terrapins are very hyped up, but Henningsen is getting some praise from the Terrapin faithful. And the Wolverines played a very, very solid game. The first half, they were completely in this game. I think they were down by 2 at the half, or 3 at the half, excuse me. And they were playing very well. And it was very much in the realm of possibility they could come back and make this a game. But this second half, too many missed opportunities, too many turnovers, and not enough defense, not enough closing out. And Tommy Height made a lot of saves, but he also missed a lot too. Gave up 12 goals today. That can be attributed to his defense, but also some missed by him. But a solid game by the Wolverines. Just look like this is not the year they're going to contend with the best in the conference. 14:30 left. Maryland kind of took over in the shot department. We were talking about at the end of the 3rd quarter. This was very close. At the end of halftime, it was 18-18. But now Maryland leads 38-28 in the shot department. 26 on goal for the Terrapins, 14 for the Wolverines.
See if Michigan can salvage a couple goals here and can score on the respectable in the last couple minutes. So they won't play games in the big house anymore.
Heights played very solid today, and it's going to be an interesting discussion who would have the MVP for the Wolverines, if it'd be Height or Cronin. Goonan has also had a very good game for the Wolverines.
Chase Young as well offensively.
All players you wouldn't really expect to be the MVP, but the main ones for the Wolverines, Buchanavich and Kevin Mack, really haven't stepped up today, and Noseworthy hasn't done anything surreal.
Maryland once again controls the face-off.
And now Connor Kelly has it. Maryland has won the last 2 face-off. Bernhardt gets inside, chooses not to attack, and will take it behind the cage to milk a little clock. Kelly controls it.
This game is 6-5. Just 17 minutes of game time. It's been all Maryland since, but a lot of positives Michigan can take away from this. It hurts to say if they executed a little better, then the outcome might have been different, but it's also a positive that they played at that high level. It was just the turnovers and the shots that really cost them.
Yeah, it's a lot different than the past years when the only way they could stay in games was the team had their worst game of the year. They didn't have the focus to do it this game. With 3:30 left, they're trying to see if they can have a turnover, maybe another shot to make this look a little closer. DeMayo's in the game now. Rotan's on the far right. Pass inside to Wisnowskis, and that'll go out of bounds. And another save by Height. That one went over the back end and into a street there. And the ball bounced very high off of Height's stick. Connor Kelly has it now to Bubba Fairman. Fairman just dodged to the left, the freshman from Utah. Kelly passing to his right to Rotans. Rotans dodge to the right. Looking for someone to pass it to, but still very solid defense from Michigan. Kelly. Anthony DeMeo. Back to Kelly. Kelly looking to DeMeo. DeMeo slowing it down. Now to Kelly to Bubba Fairman. Bubba Fairman loses but picks it back up. Gets inside. And Bubba Fairman, as soon as you said the shot clock was on, with 23 seconds left, Bubba Fairman puts it to the top right corner of the net, and that's going to push the lead to 8 now. And that's 4 unanswered now in this quarter.
5 unanswered now.
And, excuse me, you're right, 5 unanswered in the quarter.
7 in a row.
And
2 possessions in a row. As soon as the shot clock came on, right?
that's Fairman's 3rd goal of the game and his 12th of the season. It's a fantastic game for the freshman. And countering him with 3 goals has been Wisnowskis with 3, but he also has 2 assists to his name. So when Kelly struggled today, Wisnowskis and Fairman were able to step up their games. And now the Wolverines get a win off the faceoff. And with 2 minutes left, let's see if they can get a goal to make this one a little bit closer. Goonan passes it to Young. Young has it on the right side. Young running up, pass to Mack behind the cage. Mack with a couple mistakes today, but is able to make up for it if he gets a goal here. Passes it right in front of the cage, forcing it to Young, and that falls right into the pocket of Dan Morris. Forcing it a little too much with 2 minutes left. With the game out of hand, you don't really need to force much. Will Snyder will check into the game now. Corley and Young have played a fantastic defensive game for the Terrapins. And countering them, Finn Goonan, Curtis Alexander, and Michael Borda have also played very well for the Wolverines. And an offside call by the Terrapins. And that's going to give the ball to the Wolverines with just under 1:30 left.
Michigan with a minute 20 to go here. Try to get one back and again try to make the scoreline more respectable. They played an excellent game, but it's not what the scoreboard shows right now.
Letting them get away from them a little bit in this 4th quarter. And Buchanavich with a shot at a feet save there by Morris.
I think it was Kyle Mack.
Excuse me, Kyle Mack. The 4 and the 1. Getting a little bit confused for me, I'm sorry. But Bryce Young running forward now. And he's going to slow it down. With just under a minute now, 45 seconds. The Terrapins are just content to take this one to the end. Just passing it around now. A couple of the 3rd teamers getting in. Looks like Maryland just holding it now. A solid game from the Wolverines, just didn't have enough. But this is a very good Wolverine team that can compete with any of the teams in the Big Ten now, and that's not something you could say every year. Maryland looking to move to 8-1 on the season, and this will be the 3rd loss for the Michigan team and their 1st loss at home this year. So Maryland will win 13-5 against the Michigan Wolverines. And Evan, give me one thing that you saw today that can be a positive for Michigan moving forward this season.
I think the number one thing is the way Connor Cronin was in the circle. I mean, he won 13-22, but he started the game much stronger when the Wolverines lost momentum. He kind of lost his momentum in the circle too, but he played a great game. And Tommy Hyde also excellent in goal again when Michigan kind of lost their momentum. He gave up a few late goals, but overall a good game for Hyde. It's disappointing for the Wolverines to come up like this, but again, it was 6-5 with 21 minutes of game time left to go.
And a great game by both teams. Maryland winning by 8 today. The final score 13-5. My name's Alex Kremer alongside Evan Oesterle. This has been a WCBN production of Michigan Men's Lacrosse. I'll leave you with a good night and go blue.